How you can argue without destroying a relationship. Introduction. It doesn't matter how much couples love each other, there are going to be times when you do not agree about certain things. If you don't handle this well, it can turn into a very volatile situation and in extreme cases can end your relationship. Impassionate disagreements or arguing are a part of most people's relationships. You are two different people with different backgrounds and ideas. You may be compatible in a lot of ways, but there are going to be times that you do not agree on something. So, use the powerful tips and tricks in this report to keep your relationship going. Whether you like it or not, disagreements and conflict with your partner are going to happen. You can avoid your partner for a short time, but this is never usually a good solution. If you have something that you passionately disagree about, then you need to be able to work through this without jeopardizing your relationship. In this report, we will reveal some simple strategies that will help you to navigate through impassioned disagreements successfully with people who you have close relationships with. By using the tips and advice in this report, you will be able to restore peace in your relationships and even make them stronger than they were before. Share this report with your partner. The tactics that you will find here will work a lot better if both of you are aware of them. If that is not an option, then just use the tactics yourself and lead by example. 1. If you are the most upset, then speak first. Some people just hate conflict and will do everything that they can to avoid it. If you are this kind of person, then you may try to avoid conflict if your partner does something to really upset you. Bottling this up inside you is never a good idea. You know that you have no choice but to address the issue with your partner. You can try and suppress the problem for a while, but it will not be long before it resurfaces again, so just take it on the chin and prepare yourself to raise the issue. In situations where both of you are upset, then it is possible for you to hang on and wait for your partner to be the first to speak, then do that. The reason for this is that many times the act of your partner explaining their side of the story may even prevent the argument from occurring. There are always two sides to a story. But by listening to their side, it may make you reflect on the situation and avoid any conflict because you were satisfied with the explanation. Maybe you just misunderstood the situation and it is not a big deal at all. 2. Do not interrupt. If you have a tendency to interrupt your partner when they are speaking, then you need to hold back if you are in an impassioned discussion. When someone is trying to put their point of view across to you in an emotionally charged way, you are very likely to make things a lot worse if you interrupt them. It is essential that both parties feel that they are both heard and understood during an impassioned disagreement. By interrupting your partner, you are basically saying that you are not listening to them and have no interest in what they have to say. Your partner will feel that you are just thinking about yourself when you interrupt them. When emotions are running high, it can be very tempting to just jump in when your partner is talking, but you need to show restraint and let them finish. Think about this. You are upset about the issue, but so is your partner. They feel just as hurt and angry about it as you do, maybe more so. So if you interrupt them, then you are going to make things a lot worse. The other drawback with interrupting your partner is that it will make the impassioned disagreement go on for longer. Unless they are submissive, they will want to go over their point again that you rudely interrupted. This is not a good place to be, so don't interrupt when they are talking. Encourage your partner not to interrupt you as well. 3. Forget winning and go for a resolution. This can be tough, especially if both people in the relationship like to win. When two people have the same winning mentality, then an impassioned disagreement will never be resolved. Your partner has hurt you, and you want to go into battle with all guns blazing. We understand that you feel justified in wanting a showdown, but please think again. At the start of the impassioned discussion, tell your partner that you want to find a resolution to the problem in your relationship. Tell them that it is not about either person winning, which can be tough to do, especially if you know that you are right. Tell them if one person wins, then the other person loses, and that is not what you want. You do not want your partner to be a loser, do you? Think about what a good resolution to the problem would be for you. This could be an explanation, they will do something for you, or even just a sincere apology. Once you have decided, then aim for this outcome. 4. Share your point of view carefully. It is important that you share your side of the story and your point of view without loading it with intent by the words that you say and the actions that you take. Yes, you need to be clear in what you are sharing with your partner, but if you do this with clear intent, then everything is likely to kick off. Be calm in your delivery. Tell your partner how you were disappointed, angry, hurt, or upset, or a combination of these. without applying intent in your words. You need to give them a chance to explain their side of things to you, and you never know, the explanation could be perfectly reasonable. One thing to avoid is pretending that you know certain things when you don't, in the hope that you will get a confession from your partner. You may assume that these things are the only logical explanation, but it is not a good idea to do this, as it will probably inflame the situation. Always bear in mind that when the partner that you love dearly does something that upsets you and you can't understand why they did it, there's very likely going to be something that you don't know. Jumping to conclusions is not the right thing to do, no matter how tempting this feels. You do not know everything, and nor does your partner. If you act like you do know everything, then you're just going to irritate them. So don't pretend you know things that you don't, because it won't help. 5. You can criticize their actions, but not their character. When you are angry about something your partner has said or done, then you may be tempted to start criticizing their character and even calling them names. In the heat of the moment, this is understandable, but it is very likely to make everything a lot worse than it needs to be. It is okay for you to criticize their actions or inaction, but steer away from criticizing who they are. A lot of couples end up in character assassination fights, and a lot of the time there is no way back from this. Your partner is not going to forget what you said about them, and it will make things really tough going forward. If you assassinate someone's character, then they are either going to retaliate by doing the same to you, or they will just feel like they are a loser. You didn't get into a relationship with your partner because you thought they were a loser, did you? So do not engage in character assassinations in any of your impassioned disagreements. 6. Keep your voice down. Even if your partner is shouting at you, always keep your voice down to normal levels. You will often diffuse a potentially volatile situation by either keeping silent while the yelling is going on, or responding in a calm way using your normal voice volume. Maybe your partner is shouting at you because they feel like you are not listening to them. If you start shouting back at them, then this is just going to reinforce the belief that they have that they are not being heard. By lowering your voice or keeping silent when the other person is raising their voice does not mean that you condone this behavior. You know that you don't deserve to be yelled at by your partner, but silence is a very good way to stop them shouting at you. There's only so long that your partner will shout at you and get silence back in return. They will soon come to the realization that it is not getting them anywhere, and they look pretty ridiculous yelling like a maniac. Think about this as being in a boxing match where you just stand there while your opponent dances around you and takes jabs at you. After a short while, they will give up because it would not be a victory to savor if you do not respond. Another good reason not to shout is that if both of you are shouting at each other, you are not going to hear what each other are saying. You cannot successfully resolve the situation if this is the case. 7. Know when to take a break. A lot of people will tell you that it is never a good idea to go to bed if you're upset or angry. This is not always good advice, as a lot of the old adages are not. Taking a break and retiring to get some sleep can often work wonders with an impassioned disagreement. It is often the case that you or your partner have become so angry that anything that the other has to say falls on deaf ears. If this is the case, then it is just not the right time to work through the problem that you have. It is also possible that both of you are upset to the point where neither of you is able to speak in a calm way, so you need to take a break to get yourself together. There are many other things that you can do here, such as watch a movie, get some exercise, take the dog out for a walk, and so on. Alcohol usually makes everything worse, so if you've had a drink, then the best thing to do is to sleep it off. Having an impassioned disagreement late into the night is not good either, so go and get some sleep and see how things look in the morning. You are likely to be amazed at how different things look to you after getting some sleep. When you return from a break or a good sleep, it can make resolving the issue a whole lot easier. Prolonging a discussion when you've had a drink or are feeling really tired is very unlikely to end well for either of you. 8. Apologize in the right way. If you have done something to upset your partner, then you will have the opportunity to explain why you did what you did, but do not confuse this with a proper apology. A lot of people think that once they have explained themselves, then their partner will just accept this, but it is not enough. When you are apologizing, do not say, "I am sorry, but," as a way of explaining that what you did to hurt your partner was not intentional. The same thing goes for "I am sorry if," as this implies that your partner misinterpreted what you did. The thing is that your partner experienced what you did in a certain way, and neither of these apology formats will help. It doesn't matter if you had no intention of upsetting them or you feel that they misunderstood your actions. Just apologize in full. Adding buts and ifs into your apology can often be interpreted by your partner as you trying to minimize how they feel about the situation. It is more important that you get through the impassioned disagreement and are able to move on rather than water down your apology. For some people, this is going to be really tough, especially if they believe that they did not do anything wrong. For the sake of your relationship, you just have to take this on the chin sometimes and apologize sincerely for hurting your partner. 9. Accept that you are different. Sometimes when you engage in an impassionate disagreement with your partner, there will not be a clear solution. You both have valid viewpoints about the situation that are worthy of consideration. The problem is that they are at opposite ends of the spectrum. It doesn't matter how compatible you are with your partner, you are different people. You have different ideas about the way that things should be. You were raised in different families and learned different things when you were children. A successful relationship comes from identifying these differences and then agreeing to disagree about them. It may be years before you find out something about your partner that is directly against what you believe in. We are complex creatures, and it can take a specific set of circumstances for these things to come to light. Sometimes it is just enough for both parties to have their say and feel like they have been heard. It won't have resolved the impassioned disagreement, but that is not important. You now understand each other better, and this can really make your relationship stronger. It's a win-win for both of you. 10. Be careful who you talk to about your disagreements. Quite often, people in a relationship will turn to others to get their perspective on the issue. Sometimes this can work out well, but you need to talk to the right person in order to help you put things in the right perspective. If you choose the wrong person, then they could give you some bad advice that will just make everything totally worse. A friend that has an issue with your partner is not going to be the best person to turn to for advice. They may well have an agenda to break you up because they feel that you can do a lot better. The best confidant to choose is someone that knows you very well and you know will be impartial and willing to listen to both sides of the disagreement. You know that they are going to be totally honest with you and not just tell you what they think you want to hear. If you do not have anyone in your circle of family and friends that will do this, then get professional help. You need impartiality at a time like this. It is natural for your family and friends to be on your side, but their advice may not be the best. 11. Always look to improve your relationship. The way that you respond to an impassioned disagreement can literally make or break your relationship, so always bear this in mind. A problem that arises will not break the relationship on its own, so always look for ways that you can come out of the impassioned disagreement and make your relationship stronger. You can never know everything about your partner, no matter how long you have been with them or how well connected you are. There are probably going to be times when they say or do something that takes you by surprise and not in a good way. Look at your impassioned disagreements as a way to learn more about each other. You've worked hard to get where you are, so it would be crazy to break everything over something that doesn't matter that much. People in a successful and strong relationship know how to solve their problems and let go of them. When they are in impassioned disagreements, they only focus on the problem and not on each other. Even when you are angry with your partner, you can always find a way to stay close and connected with them. There will always be impassioned disagreements between couples, and you just need to learn the rules of a fair fight. Your relationship is worth you making the effort to do this and will inspire you to always resolve your differences and move on. Conclusion. We have provided you with some proven advice and tips in this report to participate in impassioned disagreements and keep your relationship intact. In fact, if you follow the advice here, it will probably make your relationship even stronger than it was before.